This is the WeakLEE Podcast. I'm the man behind the camera, Darren Lee Jr. For those who
already messing up, dog.
You're not.
Already
You're gonna
messing up,
edit it
dog.
out though.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I promise you.
I'm the man in front of the camera, Darren Lee Jr. I got my dudes behind the camera, Bryson and Bryce. All day, every day. This is the WeakLEE Podcast. Just bringing vulnerable conversations to you, speaking about life, giving people different perspectives. And we coming out of New Orleans. And today I have a very special guest with me. He is somebody I've seen since he was born. I watched him grow up and become an amazing young man. He is my god brother, Mr. Carnell Washington Jr., a.k.a. Chuckie, because he's bad as hell. Well, what? Tell them people about yourself, man.
28 from New Orleans to 17. One kid. Been in the Army 7 years now.
Been in the Army 7 years. How you liking that?
It's all right for the most part. I mean, money good, insurance, all that, everything paid
All the good
up.
benefits.
All the good benefits, pretty much.
So what exactly made you want to join the Army?
College wasn't for me. I did 2 years of college, played college ball. I broke my ankle.
Yeah, I remember that.
I sat out for like 2 or 3 years. Then I was like, you know what? Let me do something with myself because working at Walmart and Burger King wasn't it for me. So I went to the recruiter. Well, I called my uncle. He was like, I called him and I was like, you think you could call somebody from trying to go to the Army? 5 minutes later, the recruiter calling me back. And I'm just like, damn, that was fast. So the next day, I'm in the recruiter station, took the test. And it was like, all right, we're going to MEPS the next day. It was a fast process, quick. So once I went to MEPS, took the test, passed it. Then it was like, you got any scars? I was like, yeah, I did break my ankle like 7 months ago.
Yeah.
And they was like, let me see it. And I showed them. And it was like, damn, you might disqualify yourself with that. I got a little discouraged a little bit. Went back to Walmart, doing what I was doing. I remember the date. It was December the 8th, 2018. No, 2017. The recruiter called me. He was like, I got good news. And I was like, what's up? He was like, you sitting down? I said, no, I'm at work. He was like, well, your waiver came back. I get you on the next flight out of here. I said, when is the next flight? And he was like, when you trying to leave? I said, before the end of the year. Luckily, they ain't had no flights before the end of the year. So I shipped out January 8th, 2018. I ain't gonna tell you my job because I don't want to do all that. I don't need nobody in New Orleans looking for me saying I didn't. Yeah. But I chose the Army because my grandpa, my uncle, most of them was in the Army. Yeah. I got one grandpa, Mr. Runny Crazy Man. He was in the Marines. I talked to him. He was like, no, don't go Marines. So I went to the Army.
Yeah. So how you feel like that decision been so far?
It have its ups and downs.
Yeah.
I think one of the most parts I like about joining the Army is it gave me structure. Like you said, I used to be bad as hell.
Yeah.
Since I've been in the Army, been to myself, stayed to myself, and I got a beautiful little girl out of it. So it's like, what can I complain about?
Right. How was your boot camp experience?
Ooh. First day of boot camp, I still had that I'm my own person mindset. And as soon as we got off the bus, the drill sergeant's talking to me crazy. I'm like, I cuss on you?
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is he talking to? And next thing you know, he look at me, I look at him, I'm like, we don't take that kind of disrespect in New Orleans. I don't care about none of that.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how about you start fucking pushing? I'm just like, yeah, I can't do this. I ain't gonna survive. And like 2 weeks later, we shipped off to the next company. Well, no, let me rewind. First day, it's this thing called a bay manager. And he was a little bit older than me. And he was like, hey, I need you to get up and go clean the bathroom. I said, I ain't even used the bathroom. Why am I going to clean it? Next thing you know, the drill sergeant walk in. And the dude pretty much snitched on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you really a bitch ass dude for that. And he was just like, well, I told you to go clean it and you said no. I said, yeah, I did say no because you're a grown man. You cleaned it too. And I got smoked right there. So smoke is pretty much, they just PT the hell out you. Make you do all kind of exercises for no reason.
Right.
Make you sweat, get up, and you still got to do the task that they told you to do. So it's like, I learned at a very young age in the military that you could say no, but you still gonna get it done.
Right. So what really motivated you to really get through it?
Not wanting to come back here.
I was about to say that.
Not wanting to come back here because I was, like I said, I was working at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
That's not somewhere I wanted to be for the rest of my life. And it's like, why sit up there and keep doing it if you got other options?
Mm-hmm.
So my family back home, my mom, my dad, I didn't want to go stay back with them.
Right.
I'm 21 at the time. I'm not going to stay back with my parents. I want to stay on my own. I want to make my own money. I don't want to depend on them for nothing.
Right.
So that's pretty
did you?
much.
But did you feel like you didn't have nothing else you could have done?
I mean, yes, I've had job opportunities, i.e., working with you.
Yeah, fact.
But it was like, I didn't want to live in somebody's shadow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a path for myself.
Right.
I want to do something for me and not have to depend on nobody and be like, hey, I need this, I need that. I don't got to do that no more.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's like, I'm loving life right now.
And where you were stationed at?
My first duty station, I was in Fort Polk, Louisiana. My second duty station was Korea. My third duty station, El Paso, Texas, and I've been on multiple missions. I just got back from Germany last month.
Right.
Great experience. You could travel.
What it's been like with that, with the whole traveling experience?
If you ain't got to spend no money, why not do it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, been to Korea on the Army dime, why not? It's like, and then when you're done with work, you could go out and party. You go out and have fun. You meet a lot of new people, and it's like, it's so diverse in the military. Like, before the military, who would have told me that I would have been cool with this race, that race, this race? Because in New Orleans, what all we got?
Yeah.
We got brothers. We only talk to each other.
Yeah.
In the military, your friend group is different. Like, I could hang with this white boy, this Mexican, and we all cool. And it's just a big family in the Army, pretty much.
It is different. It is different than here. I mean, you still could do the same thing, but it is different.
It's kind of hard to do in the military, though.
Because like, that's all you got.
So in the military, certain leaders, they see y'all gravitate towards each other, and they break that shit up. Because it's like, yeah, you could do what you want, but on top of that, leaders will tell you, hey, go to that group, or you go to that group, where you split all the friends up, and you making new friends, you making new connections in the military. Right. So it's like, you ain't never comfortable with situations that you get put in the military.
So it's basically meant for you to be uncomfortable.
All the time.
And get through you feeling uncomfortable.
All the time.
Preparing you for life.
Pretty much. Because, like you just said, it's preparing you for life.
Yeah.
You ain't going to never be comfortable in life.
And I see that every day. We go through that all the time.
Exactly.
Because I know you ain't never think if you was 10 years old, you'll be doing exactly what you're doing right now.
No, I thought I was going to be in the NFL somewhere. Everybody at the age of 10, if you're in sports, you think you can be in the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, all that. But it's like, it's a slim chance for that.
Yeah.
My daddy, what, 5'6"? I'm barely 5'7".
Right.
It's people my height in the NFL, but it's like I didn't have that drive.
Yeah.
I lost the drive a long time ago. So it's like, why keep doing it if you know you ain't gonna get to where you want to be?
But as you know, that's when that confidence come in at.
Yeah. I mean,
because I was the same way. I was like, I know I'm good, but I'm not trying to push to go further.
I think when I hit the age, 14, I stopped really caring about sports.
Yeah.
Like, I play it so me and my dad can have something to talk about. But it's like, at the age of 14, what are males looking like? Like, what are males doing? Worrying about females.
Yeah. That's when you start worrying about women.
That's when you start worrying about females. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm good at this, but they got females around. Why not?
Yeah.
So that's why I lost that drive at 14. So
But that was one thing that made me keep pressing to play. Cause I know women love athletes.
Yeah.
So if I'm an athlete, then hey, I'm gonna
mean,
get them.
Yes and no, because I mean, since I got in high school, I was a varsity letter athlete. So it's like I played varsity all 4 years of my high school career.
Yeah.
I didn't start, but it's like I played. So it's like I'm in 9th grade playing varsity. How many people could say that?
Yeah.
On a 5A team in Georgia. I'm on a varsity team, 9th grade. I'm 5'5" at the time, doing what I got to do to play varsity.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big role, but it's like I'm still doing it.
Exactly.
So it's like, why do I got to try at that point?
But that's when that whole content thing come in. You got content with, okay, I'm in 9th grade playing varsity. A lot of dudes can't do that. I'm doing it, so I'm good.
100%.
But you wasn't good yet.
I wasn't good yet, and that's the point. So it's like, that's why I feel like I lost that drive. It's like, once you start getting older, everybody on your level.
Right.
And it's like, if you don't got that drive, you ain't gonna get nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had offers coming out of high school, but it's like, it wasn't the offers I wanted.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I'm going to play football, but what am I benefiting from it? Yeah, I'm getting school paid for, but it's like, it's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And once I broke my ankle, I was just like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm done.
I remember that. That I remember that really broke your heart.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I remember that phone call. I called my dad. I said, don't be mad at me. He said, why would I be mad at you? I said, I broke my ankle. He broke down crying before I did. So it was like, it's like I hurt myself, but it's like I hurt him also.
Yeah.
Because he know I had love for the game. But it's like, once I broke my ankle, it went away immediately.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't be a regular college student. I can't. I was going to college to play football.
Right.
I didn't want to be a regular college student. So.
But so do you feel like you encourage a lot of people to join the army or military, or what is your just perspective on that?
I've talked to a few friends. I've told them like, hey, you should join. I mean, it's good, especially with you having kids. It's like, you got kids, you ain't got nothing going for yourself. The military is where it's at. The military gonna take care of your kids. And if you don't use your GI Bill and all that, you can pass it on to your kids. Why not get your kids schooling paid for?
Right.
So it's like, I feel like I encouraged a few people to join the military, but my thing is, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the real. I'm not gonna sit up there and tell you, hey, you're gonna get this, this, and this. Because if you're expecting what, a Hellcat, all that, your first year in the military, you shouldn't even join, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. If you're expecting this expensive luxury lifestyle, don't even join.
Right.
Because just like you gotta get it out the mud in the real world, in the army, you gotta get it out the mud too.
Right.
So it's like, if you're expecting all this luxury stuff, don't join your first year.
I remember when I first dropped out of college, my dad was like the first one. Man, you might as well go to the military. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Why not?
I was like, nah, bro. My thing is just my mindset of it was just negative back then. Just like, I probably got to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
I might lose a leg or arm or something.
I think.
I mean, hey, that's what I was thinking.
I think that's everybody's mindset. I think that's everybody's mindset about the military and the whole.
Yeah, you know it.
I think that's everybody's mindset before like joining the military. Because, I mean, you was there before I joined.
Yeah. I'm
like, damn, do I want to go to war? Damn, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? But it's like, now I know what I signed up for, if that makes sense. It's like, I've been doing it for 7 years. Why not?
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's you being there now. Like, before looking at that, I was like, man, no, man. I ain't doing that. Yeah. But
that's
true. Like, bro, I'm not doing that, dog. I'll figure something out. And I did, though.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
You did. You did.
I was like, man, yeah, nah. I know they have different options for me to do than doing that.
I mean, so the army wasn't my first option.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the time, I felt like that was my only option.
Right.
Because it's like, everybody didn't have that time where they feel like they back was against the wall. And you like, you know what? I got to get out this hole. Because before I joined the Army, was I in a hole? Yes. Paycheck to paycheck? Yes.
He was ready to get away from home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This place, I'm not gonna talk bad about it because it's my hometown. I love New Orleans. I love to visit.
Nah, keep it.
I love to visit, but it's like New Orleans is not somewhere where I want to raise a family.
Yeah.
Because it's like, say if I do have a son, I got to look over my shoulder and theirs at the same time. And it's bad because, I mean, they got people bringing guns to Little League games nowadays.
Yeah.
You can't even go to a Little League game without looking over your shoulder. Back then, when we was kids playing New Orleans, you could do that.
Yeah.
But now you can't. Everybody want to tote a gun. Everybody want to do this. Everybody want to do that. It's like, that's why New Orleans is not the place for me and my family.
Right.
So, and my mom, my dad asked me, when you coming back? I'm not. Sorry. I'll visit you any time of the week, but not moving back down.
But it's good. But it's good that you want better though.
Got to.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, dog. I ain't gonna lie, I'm proud of you. I'm glad to see you succeeding in the whole army, what you were trying to do and all that, and you doing good. That's all I like to see, bro.
It started with a good foundation at home, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, all I could do is thank my parents for what they did.
Yeah.
Because, like, my parents never told me no. If they had it, I had it.
Right.
And I want to do the same for my kids. So it's like.
So what question you have for me?
I do got one question.
What's up?
So, how was it like being married, and what did you learn from that?
Ooh. One thing I learned from being married, it shows you who you really are. The good and the bad.
Break that down.
Like, you could think you're ready, but you ain't gonna really know until you're married. And you gonna see what type of person you chose, if it's really the right person or not. Like, going through a divorce and getting married again, it's just like, I see where I went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I see why I went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I see why I should have stopped at that. And now I see everything of what should have been done previously, but I understand why it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I just learned from going through a divorce. It's like, I didn't get married to get divorced, but I see why it happened, and I understand it to where I see not to make that same mistake again.
You think it was God teaching you your lessons?
100%. 100%. It was definitely me being a lesson being taught. Because like I said, I know why it went wrong. And it started with me.
Why you say that, though?
I say that because a lot of things I allowed, I shouldn't have allowed it. And when it comes to relationships, like, if you don't express something of how you really feel when it happens,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep letting things add up, you're going to start being resentful and start doing things that you shouldn't be doing and talking how you shouldn't talk. You're going to have attitudes when you shouldn't have attitudes. You're going to always be on edge. That person will always be on edge, and you're always going to be ready to go off because you're not happy because you ain't set it up how it should have been set early.
But did you feel like when you did speak up, your feelings went unheard?
Yeah, I did. But at the same time, why would your feelings be heard if you ain't start saying things until later on?
Mm.
You ain't say nothing before, so why you saying something now?
That is true. That is true. Look, I can't say nothing about that.
And that's really what I started understanding. And I really seen it. That's why I say, like, everything that went wrong in my first marriage was my fault.
But you can't really fault yourself for everything.
I can. That's how much accountability I take on, because I understand it was my fault.
Take a real man and say that, brother.
Yeah, it was. What other question you got for me?
What is something that you learned from your dad that you instilling in your kids?
Just making sure I be there. Like, you know my dad, that he been there since day one. Crazy, loving. He makes sure you gonna always respect him.
100%.
100. Like,
No matter
he
who
don't
you
take
is.
disrespect at all.
No matter who you is.
No matter who you is. And he really, like, really showed me how to be a man.
Do you feel like not having a father in the house with the new generation that's coming up, do you think that's a big problem?
Man, that's a huge problem. That's a problem for them in terms of relationships and a problem with them in terms of people. Because that's why a lot of young men are lazy now. Because being raised without a father, you become dependent on your mother.
Mm.
And then when you become dependent on your mother, when you get older and you have a woman, you become dependent on your woman.
Mm.
So therefore, you don't know exactly how to be a man because you've been dependent on women your whole life. And women don't know how to raise you to not be dependent on them.
That is true. That's why I tell a lot of people nowadays, like, you really can't live without your father.
You can't.
Or a father figure at all.
Yeah. You got to have somebody.
A man could teach you a lot. A woman could teach you so much.
Mm-hmm.
But a woman not gonna prepare you for what the next man gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel the same way as you about this new generation coming up without the dads. What they call them now, YNs. It's like, gotta stop it.
But that's even with just, like you said, just seeing the father figure. Even if it's not a good one, you still see what to correct.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see that without seeing a man.
But I've noticed with this new generation, even if I'm not your father, I see you doing something in the street and I correct it. Why are you talking to me? It's like,
I'm trying to help you out.
Us as grown men, we trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Because we don't want you to go down the path that maybe your father went down. Or
Yeah.
somebody in your family went down. That's why they not there. But they don't want to hear that.
Yeah. People don't like hearing you tell them stuff.
They don't. And I think that's a big problem in this new generation. They don't want to hear you.
But that's one thing the old people used to always say about us. Like, we ain't want to hear them talk.
That is true.
But I always was around the old people. I like listening to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like we brushed it off at the time, but like
we took it in.
Exactly. It's like now they not even taking it in. You tell them something, 5 minutes later doing the same shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm wasting my breath. But it's like, even if you don't touch all of them in the group, as long as I touch one person in that group, I feel like I accomplished something.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it sucked that I couldn't help everybody in the group, but as long as I touch one person in that group, I feel like I'm good.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Man. Thank you for doing this with me, little brother.
I was kind of nervous at first, but it's like,
I told you.
You did.
I told you, once you get behind this, me and you just talking.
It was a conversation. That's all it was.
This is another episode of WeakLEE Podcast. Man, open, honest, vulnerable. Tune in next week. And this is the WeakLEE Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in next week.